What's going on, everyone? How are you guys doing today? What I have for you today in this video is I want to talk to you guys about Android Oreo. So Android's latest operating system out there, and unfortunately only less than 1% is on Oreo. There was an interesting article that I read, which the link to that will be in the description below, but there are still tons of Android devices out there that are still running like the even older versions of Android, and then of course you have some that are on Android Nougat as well. So what's the issue over here? Well, the problem is Android is an open source platform, so meaning any manufacturer can take Android and then put their own twist into it. Now the problem with that is due to manufacturers putting their own twist and skin on it, it also affects the hardware compatibility depending on what kind of hardware is produced out there. So I would say that for the most basic budget smartphone out there from Android, most of the time they should be running the older operating systems or the older versions of Android. And then of course you have the newer devices that are out there, which at one point, once they have that particular version of Android on there, you get a few updates here and there from the carrier, but it's pretty much guaranteed that you will not be going to the next generation or the next iteration of the update, for example. So like my Note 8 right now is on Android Nougat right now, and I'm pretty much sure that it's going to remain on Nougat for a lifetime. Who knows, I could be wrong due to the newer technology that they have in the Note 8 that might be able to support the future operating systems. I know my Note 4 for sure did not support any of the new iterations out there. It doesn't even have Android Nougat installed. But part of the reason could be because that I wasn't getting updates from AT&T anymore, and that I had switched that phone over to T-Mobile at the time. So that might have been a reason why it wasn't getting the new Android iteration, but you never know. So the problem is that Google is not able to resolve the issue where a ton of devices out there are not getting the Oreo update because the manufacturers pretty much do whatever they want when it comes to specs and compatibility. So the most of the time that is guaranteed for the updates to come no matter what is the Google Nexus devices or the standalone Google phones that are not made by a third-party manufacturer. Well, I take that back. Made by a third-party manufacturer, as Google don't make the phones themselves, although I heard that they are doing that at some point. But a phone that has the stock Android skin on there that was directly from Google and how Google wants to use their Android operating system. I have Samsung over here and it works great, but this is Samsung's version of Android, so I have yet to get a device with the stock Android operating system on it, and all I have to do is go on google.com/phone and just get whichever Google device that's out there where everything is pretty much set at Google standards on how they want you to use the Android operating system as well, and then I should be able to get the next iteration of Android with that particular device. So this is the main issue that Android is facing right now. They are not able to keep up with all the devices that are out there because there's just too many of them with too many compatibility issues. Due to how the hardware functions, what's in it, there's a variety of reasons on why this is the case. Really, this is very hard to resolve, but they're not the only ones that have this kind of issue. I mean, I would say Microsoft has this issue as well because you have multiple manufacturers out there that are making PCs. You got Dell, HP, Lenovo, and a few others after that, Acer, and sometimes they want to put their own bloatware on it, and depending on what's in it and how you use the computer will also affect its performance as well, because computers aren't going to operate themselves. They operate however you operate them. If you open an email and it contains a virus that you don't know about it, then the computer's not going to know what to do, and once it opens it, then it's going to act very strange. So that's why, like, when using any piece of technology, you got to know how it's handling processes and how it operates. And Android, I don't think they're going to go away from this problem for a long time. They might at some point. I mean, the easiest way for them to do it is to do what Apple did, is control everything and don't let any other manufacturers create products running their operating system. For instance, iPhones, iOS, only runs from devices made by Apple. Android, it's run by third-party manufacturers as well as Google themselves. Google's the one that distributes the software. People take the software and put their own twist to it. There are some good and bad things about that, but in terms of Google's part, they're not able to push out the Oreo update for every device out there as well. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that this is going to be a long-term going issue for Android and Google, or do you think it'll stop a lot sooner than we think? I mean, I'm curious to see what you guys have to say in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, rate, comment. Also check out the description below for my social media links, Twitter and Instagram. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.